Hey there everybody, and welcome into the Truck King YouTube channel. This is the 2025 Ford Maverick Lobo. With this brand new package, it's the first time in about 2 decades that a manufacturer is talking about a pickup truck that goes fast around corners on a racetrack rather than fast flying through the desert, which makes this truck so exciting. Now in this video, we're gonna go for a drive around sunny San Diego. I'll tell you about all the features, and then we're gonna hit an autocross course to find out if it actually delivers, so make sure you stay tuned. Let's start this one with the walk around. Now, under the hood of the Lobo, this is the same power plant you're gonna find in other Maverick models. They don't change the output. That's the 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder EcoBoost engine. It makes 238 horsepower and 275 pound-feet of torque. So that's the same, but the transmission is not. The Lobo gets a 7-speed automatic, where the rest of the Mavericks get an 8-speed automatic, at least when they're paired with the gas engine. The hybrid gets an eCVT. But yes, this gets a 7-speed. Ford calls it the quick shift 7-speed, and that's exactly what the idea is, that it's gonna bang off those shifts a little quicker, help you with that performance. And yeah, I'm curious to get underway here and see if we can feel the difference. So Lobo is also uniquely styled. You see it right up here in the front end. You're getting a unique grille. The whole lower fascia here is unique just to Lobo. You're not gonna see this on any other Maverick. You're also getting a different headlight design as well, and I do think it looks really handsome. The other sort of big part of the performance and styling equation is that this truck is lowered. It's just about a ½ inch lower in the front and over an inch lower in the rear, so it has this nice leveled off profile to it. And yeah, I think it looks quite good, but now's the point in the video where I already need you to weigh in. So drop into the comments and just let me know what you think of the styling here on the Lobo. Tire choice is obviously a big deal if you want absolute performance on a racetrack. Now Ford right here has gone with these Goodyear Wrangler HTs. Definitely not the most aggressive performance tire out there. If you buy this thing and you really want good lap times, you're probably gonna swap this rubber out. This is a little bit more general purpose, and you can just tell by the tread pattern, it's got some of the bigger blocks on it. So yeah, this seems like more of a daily driver tire rather than a dedicated track tire, but that's okay because Ford recognizes most of these customers are probably just gonna be driving on the street most of the time. And then while I'm down here, I can't not mention these 19-inch wheels. What a cool, unique design on these things. I love that, especially here blacked out with the white truck. We got the Stormtrooper look going on. So we'll come back here to the bed. This is another thing. This does not change with Maverick Lobo. This is the same as the rest of the Mavericks. And it doesn't really need to change because it is small, sure, compared to an F-150 or, a larger truck bed, but it has all the same features, which I like. Things like tie downs over here on the tailgate. Those are very clever for long things that come out, hanging out of the bed. Now on the inside, you're getting 2 hard tie down points here at the back. 2 different heights, which I like to see. 1 nice D-ring down in the floor, and then also this cleat system, so you can slide these around and use them exactly where you want them. I like to see that, a decent amount of tie downs here. You're also getting power over here. That's a 400-watt plug, LED lighting in the bed, and a little storage cubby over there on the passenger side. So yes, I appreciate all of the features that come to this bed. Now finally, I'll touch on towing and payload. So every single Maverick can tow 2,000 pounds, and then if you option up to the 4K towing package, well then you can tow 4,000 pounds. That includes this truck, so that is nice to have, and I'll check the payload on the door jamb sticker. I do know that the Lobo has the lowest payload out of all the Mavericks, but let's see what this one has. 1,016 pounds, which, yeah, considering the performance and the lower suspension, that actually feels okay. All right, folks, first thing, we're gonna head out on road with the Lobo. And yes, it's a public road, I can't go too crazy, but let's feel the power. I've got it in sport mode, foot to the floor. Ooh, Nice. So definite turbo lag, you know, a good second and a half before you really felt that wave of power hit. But when it did hit, yeah, it feels strong. It feels robust. It's not crazy powerful. It's not wild sports car powerful. I don't want to set up the wrong expectation, but it also is not disappointing power, which is definitely what you want to feel, you know, out of your performance tuned truck. You don't want to get in, put your foot into it, and yeah, be sad about it. And I don't think you would be sad about that much power. Although I will say, and I'm a little surprised, because Ford usually is a brand that will offer more power for their special packages. You know, look at Ranger Raptor, for example. So I'm a little surprised they didn't do that here, especially considering this 2-liter EcoBoost makes more power in other applications, like over in the Bronco Sport. So I'm just a little surprised that they didn't bump that horsepower a little bit just to give Lobo customers, yeah, that little bit of extra performance. But besides that, the power that is here does feel okay. Now, we're gonna get to an autocross course, so I'm not gonna talk too much about sort of the performance and understeer and oversteer. I really wanna talk about this thing as a daily driver. And just like I say quite often with the off-road trucks that we test, with this thing, it doesn't really feel that compromised. It doesn't feel like, because it's lowered, because it has performance suspension, it doesn't feel super stiff. It doesn't feel uncomfortable like a lot of sports cars frankly can. And that's just, you know, what we're really getting to a lot these days is less compromise. You can really have it all. And that's sort of what I'm feeling behind the wheel of this Lobo, that you are getting an increase in performance. It feels better going through a corner. But then if you just want to drive it, you know, to work Monday to Friday, and you're just running over potholes in your downtown in whatever city you live in, yeah, you're not suffering because you chose the Lobo. At least you're not suffering a lot, maybe just a hair more than the standard truck. So that is nice. The other thing you immediately feel is the fact that the steering rack here is quite a bit quicker than on the standard Maverick, and I've got it in sport mode right now, so that'll change the steering as well. And so yeah, it does feel a little bit twitchy, but again, that's what you want. That's what conveys that sort of performance feeling, is that sort of really quick, tight feeling steering, and I would say that is here as well. So yeah, the daily drivability here, it probably takes like the smallest hit in terms of suspension comfort, but overall I can't see anyone going for this truck and then saying, oh, I wish I got the regular one because this thing is just so dang uncomfortable. It just frankly isn't. It drives real nice. Now, the comment I always make about the Maverick, so I feel like I have to make it here too, it's a small truck that feels big inside. It's got this big airy cab, no problem fitting 2 adults up front. You're not rubbing elbows or anything, and I do feel like that's generally a fear with small trucks, especially, you know, in this compact segment, that you're going to get in and you're going to feel squeezed, and it's really not a problem. So yeah, generously sized, comfortable, and the Lobo here, we are getting unique seats, and they're comfortable seats too. So again, coming back to that sort of daily drivability and comfort, yeah, it's all there. There's a few other changes that have arrived for Maverick for 2025. These are not Lobo specific. They come to many trims of the Maverick. The first one is a much larger touchscreen here in the center stack. It's nice to have. It also now runs wireless Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. So yeah, just a little bit more technology here, a little easier to get to things. It's a different design too, because the touchscreen in the Maverick previously was very much built into the dash. Now this is more of that kind of iPad style stuck onto the dash. But that's fine by me. It works well. We've been using Android Auto our whole time down here, and it's been seamless so far. So yeah, nice to get a little bit of extra technology there. And then I'll just talk about the interior in general. Lobo gets a couple extra styling elements. The one that they call out is this sort of two-tone stitching. You get the blue and the yellow. It's on your steering wheel and on your seats. And then there's some blue accents up in the vents. So just a couple little things to sort of set the Lobo apart on the interior. And sure, I think it looks pretty good. They're not massive changes, but if you buy this special truck, you want to be reminded that, yeah, you don't have the same one that everybody else has. So nice to see some of those little interior appointments too. Okay, now we also get the chance to try out Lobo mode. This is a special mode for this truck. It's all about using that twin clutch rear differential to torque vector, so to send the torque where it needs to be to help you rotate, and a little bit looser stability control, so it should be able to break loose a little bit. Now first lap, we're just going to take a little sight lap here, the autocross course that Ford has set up for us. So nothing too crazy. The other thing in Lobo I'm feeling right away is holding the gears, giving you that aggressive throttle tip in. Hello. All right, I know where I'm going. Let's hit it a little harder now. Coming around a corner and hard excel. Oh yeah, power's right there. It's keeping me in that power band. The steering, much quicker than on the standard Maverick. Yes, now we're sliding her a little bit. Size-wise, feels so good, right? Small, lightweight. I can almost get to the entire steering ratio without having to go hand over hand, a couple corners a little bit more. Once again, through this corner, I should be able to break it loose a little bit. Yes, yes. Hard on the brakes. Brakes feel pretty good, not super grabby performance brakes, but not bad. Stay loose, yes. So I'm feeling that the stability control is letting me rotate, it's letting me break a little loose. And then if you get a little too throttle happy, get a little too crazy, it's actually going to reel you in quite nicely too. Oh, I did kill a cone on my last time through this slalom. I just saw it. Sorry, cone. Love the dimensions. Gotta say that again. This thing just, for street trucks, if you want a performance truck, sure, you can slam an F-150 to the ground, but it's still a big, heavy truck. So this package so inherently is good at doing exactly this. Now, once again, trying to set expectations. It's not a Focus ST. It's not a Focus RS. It's not that sort of crazy, sharp, stiff, but really rewarding feeling you get out of those cars. This is taking a standard Maverick and bringing it a big step closer to being a really incredible performance truck, but it's also not quite as holistic as some other sports cars out there. So once again, I think that's okay. I'm not complaining about it, but it's just about setting the expectation that if you go for something like this, yeah, it's not going to be quite as aggressive performance-wise as some other things, even in the Ford lineup or some other manufacturers' lineups. But then when you put this next to a standard Maverick, when you put this next to any other mid-sized truck, if you put this next to a Hyundai Santa Cruz, I can pretty confidently say after doing that this is one of the best handling trucks on the road right now. And I mean, you saw my reaction there. I mean, autocross is always fun, but autocross can also be pretty frustrating if you're not doing it with the vehicle that's acting in a way that you want. And this thing was doing everything I wanted it to do. The torque vectoring was there. When you lay into a corner and you're on throttle, you feel that rotation. It even gets a little bit sort of oversteery and likes to break that back end loose, but still keeps you from absolutely losing it. Yeah, you know what? I think that's where you got to set your expectation of. It's not the most insane performance vehicle out there, but when it comes to the pickup truck market, it is absolutely the best handling pickup truck on the road right now. So Scott, I just came off the Autocross course with the Lobo, and I think the big question I have is sort of what's going on with that twin clutch rear drive unit in the Lobo, and how is it different from the Maverick Tremor or even a Bronco Sport? What's it doing here that's helping this truck?
So the Lobo is tuned specifically for on-road stuff, and I set it up so that it gives you what you're asking for. If you're in a corner and you really want to give it hard and throttle down, it's going to give you what you're asking for. So we're going to send as much torque to the outside wheel as possible, trying to get that spin up and help to rotate the car. there's a little bit of fun business happening where we can get some overspeed happening on the rear axle and that outside rear wheel, which really drives that car around the corner and gets it to step out a little bit and rotate and makes it feel more like a fun sports car. It gives it a sporty feel.
Sure. And then what else is Lobo Mode doing? I know it's, again, changing the twin clutch, but I'm sure there's some powertrain stuff too.
So we're also changing the pedal feel on the brakes, changing the steering feel, and we're changing the ESC tuning. So we're giving you a little more freedom to have the the off-track or the track experience, the off-road or track use only experience, and
sure.
Give you the freedom to drive the car as hard as you're ready to drive it.
Nice. Yeah, and it was, very nice being able to sort of hang it out a little bit, get loose, but then if you get a little too crazy, it reels you in a little bit, so I like that sort of feeling.
Prevents you from really doing anything too silly, but it lets you know that it's there and it's having fun.
Yeah. So then final one, do you have a favorite feature on the Lobo? Is there one thing that you think is super cool? Is it the rear end or?
I love the rear end. I really enjoy doing like slidey things with it and having a good time and making sure that other people can really have a good time with it as well.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
All right, thanks Scott, appreciate it, man.
Biggest question for you, did you have fun out there?
Oh yeah, so fun.
Great.
You're gonna see the video, I had a smile on my face the whole time.
Awesome, I can tell from here. Great, thank you.
Thanks. Well, folks, we have come to the end of this video. Now, we've had a fun day with this Maverick Lobo, and I think Ford has done a really nice job with this package. But, more than that, I'm just excited to see a return of a real street truck package from an OEM. These were huge through the 90s and 2000s, and then they all went away. So it's nice to see one coming back, and I'll be very curious to see if it sells well, and then if other brands jump on this trend, and maybe in a couple of years, we'll have a couple of sport trucks on the market that we can compare. But for now, that's it for this one. So drop in the comments, let me know what you think of this Maverick Lobo and everything you saw in this video. As always, while you're down there, don't forget to hit like, hit subscribe, hit join to become a member of Truck King, and then come right back here to the channel to see what we're testing next. See ya.